right, I have got a fabric piece of medium weight cotton here. Again, I'm going to just start with a straight stitch, or attempt to anyway. And before I do that, I'm actually going to just do some doing some stitching by hand. Now we have 0 here, but I'm gonna have to see what's going on with the zigzag. Let's see. That is one of the strangest sounds I think I've ever heard out of a machine. It sounds like a growling stomach. That's bizarre. I don't notice anything odd about the motor necessarily. All right, let's. Uh-oh. Well, just doing that first row of stitches, we can see the top thread is being pulled under. And I noticed when I was pulling back on the white thread is the bobbin thread, it felt a little stiffer. So we might need to reduce that tension, okay? Now, as far as the tension on the upper thread, it doesn't seem to be, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be, let's see here. Might have to alter our tension, but before we do that, let's just it just doesn't seem to have a lot of power going on, and that seems odd to me because now, when I was first trying to make this straight stitch, it was kind of hopping a little bit, almost as if it wanted to do a zigzag. And if that happens to you, notice that I'm going to keep going with the straight. And the reason is, remember I've told you when you oil a machine, you clean and you oil it and you get it to move, it's like when you're first starting. Those of you who are runners or cyclists, you start off a little slow and then you get your rhythm. What I'm saying is your sewing machine should always sew straight when you want it to or zigzag when you want it to. But this machine has literally woken up for the first time, and if I need to adjust something or clean something or wake something up further, I can, but sometimes just running it can certainly help in terms of getting it to move properly. Now we definitely have tension issues here, so that's the tension issues are going to need to be dealt with. When I try to sew slowly, it does, but it makes a weird grinding sound. Very strange. And it goes back, it goes into reverse to provide its back tacking or locking in the stitch. And I'm going to make one more row, and this time I'm actually going to do a zigzag, and I know we've got tension issues, but right now I'm actually wanting to do less testing of tension at the moment and just see what the stitch itself is going to do when I try to get it to move to zigzag. Okay, remember these are not computerized machines, so pull your needle up before you start adjusting your width, because if you don't, you could end up it can cause weird things to happen with your fabric sometimes. Okay, so let's see what it does. We're on longest stitch, widest zigzag. And it back tacks and zigzag just fine. Yeah, we're going to have tension issues whether it's zigzag or straight. I have seen machines have issues with zigzag tension and not with straight, but that's not always the case either. Okay, let's do one last thing, and then I'm going to have to address the tension problems. I'm going to reduce the stitch length, but keep the width, and see what kind of close zigzag it forms. All right, let's take a look here. Well, so the good news is, in fact, I'm going to lay this down. Be easier for you guys to see this instead of me holding it. And I was correct. When I plugged it in, the light just comes on automatically. So there is no light switch. If you're looking for one on this machine, there is one. Let's take a look. All right. So the top thread we have, and you can see, you guys see when I first started off, I had it, I swear I had it set for straight long stitch, but look what it was doing. Shift our camera. This is what it did when I first started off, and then it kind of found its, it got into its sea legs or groove, and finally realized, oh yeah, I'm in straight stitch. And then I came around, and then when I came around down here, and then when I came back, I got a nice run of the long straight stitch, came back around, came all the way down, and then started the sort of getting a feel for its zigzag and what the zigzag was wanting to do. So again, I'm either going to need, with tension, I need to either loosen the bobbin thread tension, the bobbin case tension, or I need to increase the tension above. So I'll look at the manual, what it says. Typically, a lot of the times we handle the tension with tension, upper tension assembly adjustments alone. But there are times when we actually have to address tension issues with the bobbin case. They're usually set fine from the factory, but occasionally you do need to make changes if you're making a dramatic shift in fabric weight or layers of fabric. And when you get a machine used, a lot of times someone may have started messing with the bobbin case, and that's something you have to deal with too. Because when you look on this side, underneath, there's way too much iron. We're seeing our upper thread being pulled down. So again, 5 is normally sort of halfway when it comes to tension. So that's our next thing to address. But again, when you're bringing a machine back, this is actually, there are times when I get lucky and the machine is just happy, has great tension. It just needed to be woken up. But again, tension issues are not unusual at all when we're dealing with vintage sewing machines. In fact, someone may have stopped using it because they had tension issues and couldn't figure them out and said the heck with it, and they put it away for decades. So if you have a vintage sewing machine that you have just purchased or been given, or however you came into possession of it, and you're trying to wake it up, and you're on one of the channels like mine trying to figure out, okay, how do I get this thing to run? If your tension isn't right, don't give up, because again, that is tension issues are not they're not a rare thing in a sewing machine, especially when you haven't been operating it. And they should hopefully be able to be adjustable. That's the goal. So thank you all for watching this video. Again, I've been showing, how do I thread this machine? I don't know. I had the manual and it was still confusing, so kind of had to guess. And I believe that my tension issues are not a function of how I threaded the machine, although that could be the case. So if you think if I have my wires crossed or my threads backwards, let me know. But the drawing in this manual, you know, I wish they had done it in color, because the original manual, you know, I could have I have a color printer, but it's the manual is in black and white, so you're supposed to understand when it says down and around. What the heck does that mean? Well, I'm about to find out, because if I don't have it threaded properly, I will have to start over with that. But before I do, I am going to attempt to see if I can get this tension adjusted and hopefully get this machine to a point where it might be ready to start sewing stitches, but gotta crawl before you can walk, as they say. Thank you all for watching this channel and hanging in there with me and watching along. Whether you have a white 510 model or not, some of you may or may not have this machine, or maybe you have something similar. If any of the videos on this channel are interesting to you or helpful to you, please feel free to donate. You can click on any of my video links which show Buy Me a Coffee. The links are all over this channel. You can click on any of them and it'll take you right to my page, and you can donate to help support my efforts to rescue more of these machines and get them overhauled and repaired and into the hands of people who sew. This particular white is belongs to someone else. It's not mine, but I'm fascinated by it because I've never seen a machine that, you know, lets you flip open the sewing bed. So what will they think of next? Isn't that the famous tagline from back in the day? Thanks everyone. We will see you next time.